Hello, guys. This is actually a huge episode because we got to get into business, down to business. But before we do so, make sure you go to DisneyGuide.com and subscribe to my blog on there and all of my other stuff. And make sure you just, stay updated on what's going on and what's happening. So I don't know if you guys know, but it's heading around that season. And if you don't know what I mean is it's getting close to that time where the networks of TV shows like Grey's Anatomy or All American, it's around that time for for the networks to make a decision whether a series will either be getting renewed for another season or canceled. Variety just released the article, and I'm really scared, but I'm gonna read to you what it's saying. It says upfront season is upon us, meaning it's that time of year when the broadcast networks make their renewal and cancellation decisions for next season. But of course, this year is anything but typical. The pandemic has continued to wreak havoc on broadcast pilot seasons, meaning networks are relying on existing shows more than ever. Given that don't expect to see as many cancellations as you would in previous years, still, some shows will have to go. The timing as ever is determined by the network schedule, unveiling events known as upfront presentations that are set to unfold in virtual form during the week of May 17. After speaking with the industry sources and analyzing rating data, here is a breakdown on the fate of scripted series at the five broadcasted networks. So right now, um, the shows that are renewed, starting from ABC, there are none renewed yet. Currently from ABC, they said that ABC has none renewed yet. No shows have been renewed. But they said the dramas that are looking good is A Million Little Things, Big Sky, Grey's Anatomy, thank God, Rebel, Station 19, The Good Doctor, and The Rookie. Comedies that are looking good, Blackish, Home Economics, The Connors, and The Goldbergs. Grey's Anatomy, basically what this means is that it's looking good to it being in a part where the show most likely will get renewed, basically, if it says it's looking good. Um, Grey's Anatomy will more likely return. With renewal talks already underway at the network, a big question in those negotiations will, of course, be what kind of deal series lead Ellen Pompeo gets, as well as whether or not the network will make a multi season commitment to its longest running drama. Given that Station 19 is connected to the Grey's world, it is also likely to return on the comedy side. On the comedy side, Blackish and The Connors are both seen as sure things for renewals, while The Goldbergs is a little more of a question mark. Uh-oh. I mean, I watched that show. I used to be into that show, but I mean, I hope they don't get canceled. Toss-ups. You got American Housewife and Mixed Dish. Both American Housewife and Mixed Dish seem like they could go either way. American Housewife leans slightly more into the renewal side of things, given it has enjoyed better ratings than Mixed Dish. Mixed Dish is also the spinoff to Blackish, just like Grownish. Not looking good is Call Your Mother and For Life, and I think For Life just started. It says call your mother boasts the star power of Kyra Sedgwick, but the multicam comedy has drawn a minimum audience since its debut in January. For Life was a toss up last year and only saw its ratings sink in season 2, meaning its fate is more likely sealed. Oh man. So now we finna go on to CBS shows. Here are the shows that have already been renewed. Bob Hart's Blue Bloods, Bull, The Equalizer, FBI, FBI's Most Wanted, Magnum PI, NCIS Los Angeles, I'm not surprised. The Neighborhood, Survivor, SWAT, I'm definitely not surprised about that show. And Young Sheldon, renewed for 3 seasons in March. Man, they've been renewed for 3 seasons. That is excellent. Dramas that are looking good. SEAL Team All Rise. Comedies that are looking good. Be Positive, United States of Al, and The Unicorn. All Rise lost its co-showrunner when creator Greg was fired from the show in March due to a misconduct probe that reportedly centered on issues of race and gender in the writers' room. Fellow showrunner Dee Harris was then promoted to take over the legal procedural of the show. Has been solid through not breakout performer for CBS, meaning it will likely earn at least one more season. On the comedy side, it should come as no surprise that Be Positive and the United States of Al, both of which hail from the Chuck of Laura Productions, are seen as almost guaranteed renewals. Toss up Clarice. Clarice asks whether or not fans of Silence Lambs would keep watching Clarice Starling without Hannibal Lecter around. The answer thus far has been not so much. Clarice is currently among the lower rated shows on CBS lineup. However, the show boasts well-known IP behind it as well as its creative team that includes Alec Kurtzman, the seasoned executive producer who also oversees the Star Trek universe for Viacom CBS. Could give it enough legs to make it to season 2. Now let's move on to the CW network. The CW, as you already know, these are the shows that have already been renewed. All American, Batwoman, Charmed, Legacy, Legends of Tomorrow, Dynasty, The Flash, In the Dark, Killer Camp, Legacies, Nancy Drew, The Outpost, Penn and Teller Fool Us, Riverdale, Roswell, New Mexico, Superman and Lois, Two Sentence Horror Stories, and Walker. Looking good is Kung Fu. Kung Fu debuted just a few weeks ago, but all signs pointed to a renewal. The show has enjoyed strong ratings out of the gate, average over a million viewers an episode thus far. That plus its performance in adults 80 through 49, currently putting it among the highest rated shows on the CW. Fox. Let's go on to Fox. Already renewed Bob's Burgers for 2 seasons in September 20. Duncanville renewed for season 3 in April 2021 ahead of season 2. Family Guy renewed for 2 seasons in September 2020. The Great North and The Simpsons renewed for 2 seasons in March 2021. Drama's looking good. 911, 911 Lone Star, and The 911 franchise remains a major cornerstone of Fox scripted lineup, with the mothership and the spinoff ranking at the top of Fox ratings. The Resident, meanwhile, remains a consistent performer for Fox to the point that it is seen as more than likely to continue. Toss up, Call Me Cat. Fox made a major commitment to Call Me Cat, locking up series lead in Big Bang Theory, Alum Mayim Bialik, with a series commitment back in 2019. But with the big price tag comes with big expectations, and thus far, Call Me Cat has not been a major performer for the network, falling somewhere in the middle of the pack among Fox other scripted shows. Chances are it will come back given the network's hefty investment, but sources say it could go either way. Not looking good, Prodigal Son. So Prodigal Son saw a pretty heavy ratings fall off going into season 2, and given that many Fox other shows that were doing the worst than Prodigal Son were either acquisitions of holdovers from the past season due to the pandemic, it is currently amongst Fox lowest rated scripted originals. And I love Prodigal Son. I'm shocked. If it's not looking good, that most likely mean they probably not gonna be renewed for season 3. I mean, I hope so. And then finally, the last network, NBC. The shows that have already been renewed: The Blacklist, Chicago Fire, Chicago Med. Y'all already know Chicago PD. All 3 Chicago shows renewed for 3 seasons in February 2020. Law and Order SVU was renewed for 3 seasons in February 2020 as well. Mr. Mayor, New Amsterdam renewed for 3 seasons in January 2020. This Is Us renewed for 3 seasons in May 2019. Man, these shows, this is how you know when a show is really good, when they renew you for 3 seasons ahead. That's how you really know. Dramas that are looking good: Law and Order, Organized Crime, and Manifest. Comedies looking good. I mean, dramas. That was dramas looking good, but comedies looking good is Young Rock and Keenan. Law and Order, Organized Crime saw the return of Christopher Manoli as Elliot Stabler. The show has also been guaranteed at a renewal since it was announced in the fact of its debuted with strong ratings thanks to SVU crossover, of course, only sealed the deal. Likewise, Young Rock has done pretty well in its freshman year, and NBC, like the rest of the world, wants to stay in business with Dwayne Johnson, meaning a season 2 pickup for the comedy should be forthcoming. Toss up Good Girls. Good Girls has fallen to the bottom of NBC's ratings charts, but the show remains very popular on streaming platforms, which could give it a fighting chance. Shows that are not looking good are Debris and Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. Debris was meant to be the next great puzzle series like Manifest or Lost, but the show has thus far failed to generate the same level of interest. Zoe Extraordinary Playlist, currently in its second season, also ranks NBC's lowest rated shows, meaning the musical drama could be soon be done for good. Man, so yeah, I mean, I knew it wasn't gonna be too long before they start bringing up, renewals. So I wasn't really surprised. But what I will say is that I'm shocked about Prodigal Son. I'm really shocked about that show. That's my favorite show, low key. I'm not gonna lie. I understand why they dropped the ratings on that show, but man, that's my favorite show. But yeah, guess we gonna start finding out the news on if these shows. But if it's saying that it's not looking good, then it's most likely that it probably will. You know, you know, it's most likely that the show will indeed be canceled. But we don't know for sure. But if so, thank you for listening in to today's episode. Make sure you subscribe to my Disney God blog, and yeah, thank you guys for listening in. Subscribe and follow this Google podcast for more. And yeah, bye bye, guys.